Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the Sun in conjunct Saturn in a natal chart. Now, first off, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up, well, when you have the Sun in conjunct Saturn natal chart, it's important to remember, okay, inconjuncts can be about adjustments. So there may be an adjustment, that's needed between the basic wants, which is the Sun, and career-related matters, which is Saturn, and one or the other may be overemphasized. If you have your, say if your Saturn is in Pisces, career-related matters may be associated, with, it could be boating, fishing, metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, dancing, photography, anesthesiology, spirituality as some examples. And, the thing about, this too is, when you have, this, the aspect, inconjuncts again, could be too much or too little of something. Again, inconjuncts are often about adjustments. And another thing, about this aspect is there may be an imbalance between, the expression of the conscious side, which is the Sun, and what you are, serious about, which is Saturn. And, the thing about, things like, say, if you have your Saturn and Aries as an example. Things that you're serious about, can be connected, with leadership, expressing leadership prowess and ability, the military. It could be standing up for others. It could be combat or even combat sports or volatile sports, as some examples, carpentry, welding. It could be when you're talking about, the adjustment of energy. And the thing is too, it's like, if you have, again, going on like Pisces and Libra, let's say Pisces and Libra are involved in the inconjunct aspect. You're talking about Pisces, which is about, isolation, solitude, seclusion, escaping, getting away from the world often. And then you have Libra energy, which is about, intellectual sociability, relationships, collaborating with others on things. So, inconjunction can be, again, it's about trying to make a transition, finding a balance between, well, it could often be just about trying to find a balance and equilibrium with the energy. And the thing is, another thing about this aspect, there may be too much of a focus, on the basic wants, which is the Sun, and not enough on dealing with fears, which is Saturn. If Saturn is in Taurus, say as an example, there might be some fear, of some kind of, being loyal to some situation, loyal, being steadfast, persistence, things in which you may have to persevere, even being, more financially independent, self-reliant in general. And another thing is, and also, and it could also be, again, the focus may be too much on the basic wants and not enough on the dealing with the fears, or it could be the other way around. It could be where one is dominated or monopolized, as far as their time goes in terms of dealing with fears, and, what puts them in, strong, state of fright, as opposed to, just, looking at, as far as the basic wants goes, and not putting enough attention on the things that their basic wants, what they want to get in their life. And another way this aspect could manifest, it could be, where the father and authority figures and older people, which is Saturn, may have too much or too little involvement in one's life, which is the Sun. Now, let's say if the Sun is in Sagittarius, that may be a life, of adventure, exploration, It may involve a lot of foreign travel, higher education, doing things in terms of expanding horizons, a life in which one may be very optimistic and upbeat about, which a person that may be very expansive, and a life in which one can be very exuberant and enthusiastic about. Um, the thing is, let's say if Saturn is in Scorpio, as an example, father and, authority figures, older people may actually be Scorpio sun, moon, or ascendant people, or embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people that are very resourceful, resilient, empowering, transforming, those that can be very passionate, but yet even obsessive and fixated on things, may even be vengeful and vindictive and jealous, as some examples. Now, another way this aspect can manifest, it could be about expending too much or too little vitality and energy, which is the sun, on activities that require laborious effort, which is Saturn. Now, let's say if Saturn is in Gemini, as an example, those things that require laborious effort, and it could be simply a variety of things. It could be, doing things that require, manual dexterity, such as, auto or refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. And the thing about, this too, I mean, if Saturn is in Taurus, it may be something, associated with gardening, that laborious effort may be tied in with gardening, cultivation, agriculture, geology, as some other examples. Now, also too, as far as this aspect goes, an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between the action, which is the sun, and in terms of planning, which is Saturn. It could be something where the person may be, so action-oriented and not really put much forethought, planning, premeditation into their action, or there may be, over-planning and, taking too much time in planning things, contemplating certain actions without even taking action. So this is where, there may be an adjustment may be needed, and try to find, the balance of equilibrium between the two. If the sun is in Pisces, the person may have, as far as the actions go, they may be connected with rescuing or altruism, showing sacrifice, being compassionate, and things that involve compassion, and things of that nature, helping those that are less fortunate than oneself, such as the impoverished, the homeless, the oppressed, and the hungry. And also too, this could be also, as far as this aspect goes, the person may vacillate between, being extremely, confident, which is the sun, and being overly pessimistic and negative, which is Saturn. Let's say if Saturn is in the zodiac sign Cancer, the person may be overly negative and pessimistic. It could be regarding home and family related matters, introverted activities. Could even be issues with laundry and plumbing, history, nostalgia, as some examples, or in terms of just simply getting safety and security in one's life. Now, another way this aspect may be expressed, it could either be, too much action, which is the sun, or too little in matters that are pertaining to one's responsibilities, which is Saturn. Now, let's say if Saturn is in Leo, as an example, those responsibilities may be tied in. It could be to, children, their love, romance, creative endeavors. It could be something sports related, or things that garner some kind of attention or recognition. Maybe responsible just simply being the dominant person, in a certain, situation, as some examples. It could be something connected with performing, or even, I would say, product demonstration could be another example, because the thing about that is, product demonstration, is often about boasting a product of and showing the good, the good qualities or aspects of it. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.